Hi all, Jean here. Well, if you have not watched any of my videos before, my name is Jean Roberts. I am from Grenada, the island of spice, but I live here in Canada. I live in Alberta, Canada, actually. Well, I live in Kenmore, Alberta, Canada. And I've just been on this really beautiful, long journey. Today is Sunday. I left home last Wednesday and I left Calgary and flew to Ontario to go to the Niagara Falls to see my friend who has stage 4 cancer. And she is, basically in her early 50s. And I spent just about 8 days, 9 days, somewhere around there with her. And then from Niagara, I flew into Winnipeg, which is the middle of Canada, which is actually very cold, which is where I am right now. I'm in Winnipeg. And I spent the weekend here. I came in on Friday and I came to a convention, a political convention. And I came to support my other friend who is, into politics. And she needed to have all her people with her. And I understood that when I went being at the convention, of course, I understand um, needing and the importance of having a village, having a support. So this little video that I'm making today is just a few minutes video because, as I say, I'm at the end of my journey and I'm so fortunate that I spent the last 2 nights at a hotel sharing with someone else. But tonight I am at my friend's home, and it's just a beautiful home and there's a nice fire going. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a few minutes video for you guys by this fire as I sit here and reflect on my week. And what I got from my week is that you are not an island. No man is an island. I don't know if you know the song, and I love you. Honest, I do. Anyways, no man is an island. We need support. We need other people. We need community. We need to be in circle. We need to have the conversation. And what I'm understanding, um, one of the biggest thing I learned from the both parties, going to see my sick friend and then coming to see my other friend that is the same age as my sick friend, and the difference in their life. And the difference in their life is huge. It's huge for many reasons. One, um, they're from different culture, very much different culture. My friend that is going through this huge process of cancer right now, she's from the Caribbean, um, and I think she's having a hard time receiving help. Yeah, very hard time. And I understand that because she has been a woman who have always had to look after herself. So she has been the type of person that, have always worked, always had a job, always been very independent, listened to no one but herself, really was not very good on taking advice. No offense, no judgment. This is just my perspective on that, like very, very hardworking young woman, always looking after herself, alone, taking herself. Me and her, we had traveled to Europe together. We did Europe by train, and two island girls doing white people thing. Europe by train. We arrived in Ireland, and then went over to England, and then we went to France, we went to Paris, and then we went down to Spain. And then from Spain, we came back to the south of France. And from the south of France, so the south of France is Nice and Monaco. Is it Monaco? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That all this rich area there, and then we came back to Rome. We went to Italy from there. We went to Florence, Florence, Tuscany area, um, and from Florence we end up going to Rome, and from Rome I think we went to. I don't think I know. We went to Venice, and also from Venice we went to Vienna. From Vienna, we travel all the way through the mountains to Germany, and from Germany, we end up in what was the last place that we end up in Holland? Is it Holland? Where did we end up? Um, Let me get back to you on that one. Our last leg, Amsterdam. Yeah, we end up in Amsterdam, one of my favorite place in the world. I can go back there anytime. And yeah, I'm being a little bit more quiet today because it's not noisy. It's very quiet here. I have a big, huge space, over on this side. I'm going to just, yeah, so you can see there's a huge space in the background there, very big TV. And there's a bedroom over and this side over here. There's the bedroom back there, big, nice tub and everything. And this space that I'm in right now is my friend's place who took me in. And I'm just here to just remind you guys that we are not islands. I used to take pride in saying I'm an island, not only because I come from an island, but because I have done the whole I am a woman thing and I am strong and I don't need any help. And I have gone through that process, so I understand my friend who is, found herself with this cancer at this early stage in her life. I mean, she's in her early 50s, and it's really huge, and it's really challenging. It was challenging for me to be in her environment and to see how much she is health bent on doing this alone. And yeah, doing it alone, it's just not what I guess I would do, but there is nothing I can do. As they say, you can take a horse to water, but you cannot make the horse drink, right? And then here's my other friend who is doing the climb, and she is, living this let's gather people, how as she say, her superpower is bringing people together, and it is so true. She is out there campaigning, talking to people from the ground up, having communication anywhere she goes. She has this innate ability to converse and make connection with people. Last night we went to this Indian restaurant. Yes, she is Indian, but she's Canadian Indian, not indigenous Indian, but Indian from India. That's her heritage, her background is Indian from India. And we went to this beautiful Indian restaurant last night, a buffet, but it was a gorgeous, huge restaurant with everything under the sun. Authentic Indian cuisine. If you have not had that in your life, you don't have to go to India to try it. Go to a real, authentic Indian cuisine environment and get something that is just amazing. And from the time we arrived, she was talking to the maitre d' guy, who is the manager guy, who I think is the owner of the restaurant guy. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm in politics and blah blah blah." And they connect so deeply because he is in politics as well, but he's on with the liberal, whereas she's with the NDP. So it was really funny that he's trying to poach her to come over to the liberal side, but and she's just making communication, communicating to people on table things I believe I cannot do, like having long and deep conversation with strangers. But I'm learning to do a lot of that, especially when I see how she operates in the world and how it doesn't even dawn on her that that is bravery. Um, and even this weekend for me, I see how much I am no longer the Jean that I used to be. I am more really like I am talking to people and I am doing the things that always made me so uncomfortable. And the thing is, guys, when you start living in that place of uncomfortableness, you get comfortable being uncomfortable. It's just a thing. Yesterday, the last 2 days, I was giving out flyers and I was just, yeah, because I'm helping her, to win her seat because she was running for president. She didn't win, but the idea was for her to put her name out there in the world. And I was giving out flyers, together with her husband, and she had her two beautiful kids there with her, two daughters, and we were just giving out flyers. And every time someone say no or they walk past me like I'm invisible, although I'm right there, I'm always thinking, wow, this person just walked past me. I should be ashamed. I should turn around. But I stand there and I give the next person the flyers and I hand it to the next person and I hand it to the next person. And all the time, out of five people, one person would take a flyers. We had 700 flyers to give out, like information on our person, and we have given out all our flyers. We have given out all the information that we need to give out just by standing and handing it out. There was 2,000 people in this convention, and I keep calling it a seminar and a conference and all the other names, but it was a huge, political convention. And the reason why I keep not remembering that it's a convention because I don't really go to conventions. I go to seminars and I go to circles and I go to ceremony. For me, life is all about ceremony, and in a sense, this whole conference convention conference, whatever it was, in a sense, it brought so many people together, and that was something really amazing to look at because almost all the leaders, all the people that was in the running for something, like president, treasury, executives, the leader of the next running of the political party. Everybody, their job, their responsibility is to, oh, excuse me, that was a big one. I just had a nice cup of peppermint tea and it seemed to be doing its job. But all these people has to be about people. You cannot really go and be in politics if you're not about people. And although I like people, energetically, it could be a lot. And I know I cannot be in any kind of political thing because I'm a crier. I am an emotional person. I have an emotional body that can cry anytime. And although I'm not, my emotions do not run my life anymore because I understood now, at this time in my life that I my emotions used to run my life like deeply, everything was an emotional crisis. But after doing all the work that I have done in my life, all the self-development programs I have taken, um, all the seminar I have gone to, all the workshop that I've done for self-help, self-improvement, spiritual health, spiritual improvement, um, health, health and wealth, health and well-being. I've been a big advocate for myself in spaces like that, but now I can see how all of that has helped me to be um, more out there, more living outside of my comfort zone, which is just another place, you can get comfortable being outside of your comfort zone. So I'm seeing how this is paying off now for me because I was able to talk to people and have real conversation, which had nothing to do with the weather, although it's friggin' cold out here in Winnipeg. Winnipeg has an ice cold to it. It's not just cold, it's like ice cold. And it's probably not even as cold as we think it is, but there is an ice to it. There is this freezing factor to the cold here. And it was just amazing to do. So basically, I'm saying all of that to say, say yes to things that you don't normally do. Do something that you would not even think about doing or you may not have any interest in doing. I have another friend in Ontario, that the first friend I met when I arrived in Toronto, who took me in for the night. And, in her building, they have a guest suite, and she organized the guest seat for me. I've been so taken care of on this journey. This, I left my home just with the idea that I'm going to be in service to people. And it's amazing when you have this idea of being in service to people. Sometimes we think that we have to go out and become a volunteer of a whole thing, and you don't. What you need to do, what I have been doing, I recognize now, is that I am in service to all the people I meet. Whether I say hello or I pick up something on the ground or whatever it is I do, I realize that I'm in service to all those people. Everyone I meet, I'm in service to them. And this other friend that I talk about in Ontario, she's also a Black woman, but the difference is she's so cultured and she's so artsy, and she's so, like, not from, me being from the Caribbean. And today, she left me a message telling me that she's going to the Juno, and I was like, yes, you go to the Juno, girl. Like, you just inspire me to do such big things. So do something different, do something that you don't normally do. Go to a different dance class, take up weight, like I've been weightlifting, which is something very big and different for me. And I am missing. I did two classes. I did two session in this big gym in over in Niagara while I was there. And right now I am missing that. The last time I did one was on Thursday, Wednesday, and it's now Sunday, and I'm missing not lifting some weights. I wish I had some around here to do some weightlifting. Maybe I'll just do a few push-ups. But I'm actually missing that because I'm loving how strong my body is getting. I feel heavier and even much bigger, but I'll deal with that another time. I'm enjoying my this voluptuous gene. I'm enjoying that aspect of myself right now. So coming back to this whole idea that you're not an island, so stop behaving like you're an island. Find a support system. Find someone to talk to. Say yes to something, anything, something different. Say yes to your friends. Go out in the evening time. Do something that you don't do on an ordinary basis, on a daily basis. Ask for help, because asking for help, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes I say no, and this year I am trying, because my friend that I came to see here in the political thing, she's just been so, 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 so kind to me. I stayed at the hotel and I didn't have to pay for the hotel. Um, I didn't have to pay for my ticket to get here, my plane ticket. Actually, I pay for my plane ticket to get here, and she is taking care of the one for me to get back home. I didn't have to pay for my food, and no matter how much I say, girl, I'm going to let me know, she's like, no, I'm doing it, and then they all left today. So because the seminar, the convention end today at noon, and forgive me again if I'm saying seminar and whatever I just said, the reason why I forget to say that. But today again, she talked, her other friend, who is a phenomenal woman. I'm at her house, and Jesus, I'm like, there is some really amazing people in the world, and they do the. It's not like, I mean, she invite me to her home. She came and picked me up, take me to her home. Um, is going to drive me to meet my other friend tomorrow that I'm going to see, that is living here, and I'm going to have a tea with her. My old life coach person. I'm going to have a tea with her tomorrow. I've known her for a few years now, since 2015, and she happened to be living in Winnipeg. She used to live in Vancouver. So I'm going to see her in the morning. But this woman here is going to drive me, and she's going to take me to the airport. Guys, I'm telling you, when you start saying yes and you start being okay to receive, and and you start doing the things that you don't think you would ever do, you automatically step out of your comfort zone, and you don't even know that you're out of it anymore, because you're hobnobbing and living a whole different life, a whole different experience, you know. And so it's always good to receive, and it's also good to ask for help, and it's really good to say yes, because those are the things that is going to get you where you want to go. And it's good to take it's also good to always do something different. You know, politics is not my eye. Well, those are sexy on the night dressing. You know, yeah, it's you know, politics is not my in my wheelhouse, but I add it into my wheelhouse just so I can see my friend and I can support my friend. So that is something so amazingly beautiful. Anyways, I know I didn't ask for permission to do this nice little video, but I don't think I'll get in trouble for it. So just letting you guys know that you're not an island. It's okay to say yes, and it's okay to receive. Have a good night, and it's okay to receive. And yeah, so here is what I'm going to leave you guys with this evening. I like this voice of mine today. It's soft, it's nice, it's quiet. I'm not trying to shout over people. But here's what I'm going to leave you guys with today. Do less and be more of who you are, or explore who you are, you know. And even before I leave, I was talking to my husband. Yeah, my second husband, I was talking to him, and we were just talking about sometimes when you choose yourself, and you know, I'm gonna make a note, and yeah, I'll go into that another day. But for now, um, yeah, do something different. Say yes, and yes to receiving, and ask for help, and do less, but be more of who you need to be or who you want to be. Step into that. So subscribe to my channel, share my video with your friends, and like my channel, because guys, this is my retirement business that I'm doing here, and I'm here to tell you that. Okay, so I am here to tell you that this is my side gig, and I need subscribers. So subscribe, because I have really fabulous content. And here I'm going to say, have a good night. I hope you enjoy.